This is Dr. Rob Harter with the Nonprofit Leadership Podcast, Making Your World Better. What does it take to be an effective nonprofit leader today? What are the biggest challenges? What are the biggest obstacles? How should nonprofits fundraise in an economy that is constantly changing? All of these reasons combined led me to start this show. And it's my hope that through this series, people can learn not only what it takes to be an effective nonprofit organization, but to hear from effective leaders who are successfully making a positive impact in their communities. We hope you enjoy this show, as together we hear how they are making their world better. Welcome, everybody, to the Nonprofit Leadership Podcast. Well, today I have a first. The first nonprofit organization that is based out of Spain to be on the show. I've had other guests from different countries, but this is the first time I've had a nonprofit from Spain that is on the show. And fascinating organization. They technically are called a foundation, but they work in several different countries around the world and really providing some really critical services. And I think you're going to really enjoy my interview with Javier. He's going to talk about the challenges we all face, fundraising, leadership, and then he'll share also some of the leadership lessons he's learned along the way. I think you're going to really enjoy my new friend Javier and all that he has to share. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Now on to the show. This podcast is sponsored by DonorBox. DonorBox, helping you help others with the best donation forms in the business. Well, welcome to the Nonprofit Leadership Podcast. We're so glad you've joined today. I've got a very special guest calling all the way in from Spain. We have Javier Lezcano. Javier, thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you to you. It is a pleasure and honor to be part of your program from Spain. I'm very proud to be one of the best or the first Spanish foundation that will participate in your program. So thank you very much.
You bet. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been so fun to see this podcast grow internationally. But you're right. You are the first guest I've had who's leading a nonprofit in Spain. So congratulations on all your good work.
Yes, thank you very much. And also, I have to say that Xcalibur Foundation is the only nonprofit organization in the geophysics companies that is all around the world. So this is important to mention that Excalibur Smart Mapping is the only company who has this kind of organization.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Talk a bit about Excalibur Foundation. How did it get started? And where is it all around the world now?
I had the opportunity to live since the beginning the creation, or what you say there about the foundation. This is a dream of our president, Maria Jose Toro, and the program director of the foundation, and also ESG director of Excalibur Smart Mapping. They were fighting since the beginning of 2021 to create a tool to help people in the countries where Excalibur Smart Mapping is working.
Okay.
So they had that dream. I had a lot of experience in foundation. I met them before many years ago. So they called me to say, okay, we have a dream and we want to do it. So I had a lot of help because Maria Jose and Laura were really the leaders, follow the leader, like the son.
Right.
So they were push and press the company to create this foundation. So we started to work in the legal side at the beginning of 2021, and we were at the end legal at the end of 2020, October 21, and we opened the first program in Uganda in May 22.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you set that up well. As we talked about, you're in several countries in terms of the work you do. Tell us about some more of the impact you're having in the communities you support.
It has been complex because we are just 3 years old, so we are now like babies, in the foundation worldwide. But nowadays we have 5 projects in 3 countries and also 3 continents. We are working in Africa, in Europe, here in Spain, and also in Colombia. First of all, it's important to say that we work with children, youth, and women. This is our target. So we work around education. We are trying to work in terms of environmental projects, but nowadays we are working in terms of education, not in the side of schools, but to help people or to help groups to use education for their growth. We work in all our projects with children and youth, 50% boys and 50% girls, 50% boys and girls. This is very important because we believe in the equality. Nowadays, we are impacting in almost more than 400 kids and more than 2,000 indirect beneficiaries, plus families and also the community. Because what we do is to try to work with the communities, not only with the families and the school, but we work together with the community. We want to create some impacts in that area. And in this size, we want to be part of the change of these people. So we go to this area that we work very closely with the government. So what we do is go to the area that they select, and we try to find a way to help all these families. For example, in the case of our first project in Uganda, what we call the Naguru Social Sport Academy, we use football as a tool. They had a big problem. They had a big problem in 2021 because the schools were closed 2 years. So in that area of Naguru, which is a very unprivileged slum in Kampala, the school have not the tool to take back the children to the school. So the families prefer the kids selling in the lights, in the middle of the streets, and don't come back to the school. So the school ask about how to do it. So we create with Real Mary Foundation and also with our local partner Youth Sports Uganda, that is a huge local partner. We create a program, an after-school program regarding football and regarding practicing football, to create the soul to come back to the school. So we work together with the school very closely. We have been working with now close to 280 kids, perfectly selected in a survey with a lot of problems in their families. So we start to work also with giving them meals, water, and educational support. Let me tell you one more thing in this case. That is that, for example, we in the Occidental here in Europe or the United States, we think that there's no problems. But for example, there in Kampala, the girls had to stop to go to the school because of the menstrual period.
Right.
We cannot understand. I mean, this is stupid in Europe that you have to feed. But because they don't have menstrual pads and they don't have the education, so the girls didn't want to go because of this kind of situation. So we had to prepare a special program, what we call menstrual hygiene management program, to help them, not also to help the girls, to help the community to understand that it's not a problem, that it's a normal part of the girls. So we have give them nowadays more than 30,000 menstrual pads in these last 2 years for all the family, or for the girls and the mothers of the family. So we teach their boys and also the parents to understand that this doesn't matter. So this is a normal situation. And nowadays, more than 80% of the girls are perfectly well-being in terms of coming to the school and be part of the whole group.
Thanks for sharing that. What a powerful example of how you're really helping young women, stay in school. And you're right, in Europe and in America, that's like, you don't even think about that. That's not even an issue. And yet it's a huge issue there in that country and prevents women from moving forward and having an education. So excellent. Well done.
As I will tell you later, we want to increase this whole program in Uganda. But for example, in what we do is just try to understand the problem of that area. Like for example, in Colombia, we are outside of Medellin, where it is a very, very, very dangerous population neighborhood. So because of the drugs and the narco gangs. So we had to go through this area that is dangerous and go to a church.
Okay.
So they have like an island in the middle of incredible village. So we start to talk to the families, to explain to them that it would be an island for the kids. At the beginning, they didn't believe it. They didn't understand what we are doing. Nowadays, we are more than 150 kids, boys and girls, working together. We are teaching them to read. So we are on a special program to start to learn them to read again, to come back to the school. And we use football and sport for healthy. There are medical checks and all these kind of things. So now the families are very, very happy. And the last time that we were there, we are working three days a week with them. And the mothers of that kids ask for another day.
Okay, there you go. That's right. Well, this is a leadership podcast, and I know you provide really good leadership, and it's evident by the work you're getting done. I know leadership is just absolutely key for all organizations. As you look to your own organization, Excalibur Foundation, what are some of the biggest upcoming leadership challenges that you're facing as an organization?
In terms of leadership, our goal and main goal, not also in terms of foundation, but also in terms of companies, what I believe is to create a real team, a passionate team. I mean, I don't know to say in English. I mean, I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about individuals. We are not a group of people. We are individually a part of a very great team. So for me, the most important thing is to show them that they are in the center of the project. With this feeling, they commit. The commitment for them is great. I'm very clear in terms of objectives, in terms of the important role, the ambitious project that we have. I'm very enthusiasm in my way, but the team is the key. Maintain the enthusiasm and determination, working every day as a first day. They believe that this is, when you arrive in a company, you are in, wow, this is my first day. For me, every day is the first day.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
So I'm always asking for new opportunities, new challenges. I think that they have to be involved in the passion of this work. I like to share with them the mission, vision, and values very clearly. Also, so we discuss. I had a meeting last week, a speech with or discussion with one of the team regarding the mission and vision of the foundation. So it would be nice to share with them more than objectives.
Well said. Well, I like that.
I like to work with persons, and I like to put them in the center of everything. They have to be really the what do you say, the leaders, their own leaders.
That's right. Exactly. And I want to come back and ask you about some leadership lessons that you're learning. Are there specific actions or projects that you're trying to implement to achieve your goals despite some of the challenges you bump into as a leader?
Yeah, I'm always learning. I think that it's impossible to say that you are not going to learn anymore. So for me, every day it's a challenge to learn and a way to work with these kind of things. For me, there's two ways that are important in terms of my learnings. Is that I had a person that I'm trying to find the right. I had two examples in my life I had the opportunity to work with all of the most brilliant persons in my life. I was 40, he was 65, and I was working in a project in one university. And he told me one sentence that more or less said that the problems arise when you push people to reach their maximum levels of incompetence, because you are working with persons, you are not working with machines. So many times you think that, for example, you can do a lot of things, or rob, or mountain motorbikes or whatever. No. So you are the best in your performance. If you put you out of this performance and push them, you are going to collapse. You are going to put these people in the most incompetent side. So what I like to do, since I talk with this marvelous person is that our objective is to try to understand where is the best place for the people to work in, you know. So what we do is to try to learn how the people that you are working with are in the best side to obtain the maximum. The other key that the people hate me because of that is that I don't accept the no as an answer.
Okay. Okay.
No has never been the final answer. I mean, you have to fight to fight to find a solution or a way to do one thing, or to try to push and to be as creative as you can do. And in 99% you achieve. So for me, no doesn't exist. My family hates me.
Right. You never give up.
I mean, I don't think that no is an answer. I said, why not? Why? So let's think about why to solve. I mean, and I could tell you a lot of stories here in the foundation that at the end, no was the wrong answer.
We'll be right back. Are you looking for an easy and effective way to boost your nonprofit's donations? Well, look no further than DonorBox, the online fundraising platform that streamlines your fundraising efforts, maximizes donations, and simplifies giving for your supporters. With DonorBox, you can create beautiful donation forms, accept digital wallet payments, track donations, and send auto receipts. And the best part? There are no setup or monthly fees and no long-term contracts required. So what are you waiting for? Visit donorbox.org today to get started. That is www.donorbox.org. Hey friends, thanks so much for listening to the Nonprofit Leadership Podcast. Many of you know that I provide leadership and life coaching. With my 30 years of nonprofit experience, I know firsthand how hard leaders like you work. I also know how important it is to have someone you can call on and to get help with the barriers and leadership challenges you will face both professionally and personally. I really want to help people thrive and become all they were meant to become by providing coaching and consulting services. And it's been so much fun working as a coach, working with clients who are leaders just like you, looking to grow personally and professionally. What you may not know is that I also provide consulting services. Currently, in fact, I'm working with an organization to help them create a clear strategy and plan to raise $3.5 million to expand their organization. So perhaps you're an executive director and you sense your organization has hit a lid on growth and you need a strategy as to how you can scale your nonprofit. Or perhaps the culture you set out to create is not the culture you have currently and it's impacting your staff retention. Or maybe you're facing a major resource challenge and you don't know what to do. That's where I can help. I come alongside leaders and organizations to create strategies to grow their organizations and maximize their impact. If your nonprofit needs help with fundraising, strategy, or operational effectiveness, reach out today. You can simply email me at rob@robharter.com. You can go to my website, robharter.com, or you can call me, 435-776-5173. I would be happy to provide a free sample coaching session or a consult to see how I can best be of help to you and your organization. Well, thanks again for listening. Now back to the show. Well, let's go into an area you need lots of persistence in when it comes to a nonprofit organization, fundraising, getting money to support your organization. Tell me about how you go about fundraising. What's your philosophy for development?
Okay, I've been working in a lot of foundation, and we have to think that first of all, Xcalibur Foundation is a corporate foundation. I mean, our parent company is Xcalibur Smart Mapping. So the rule here is that we don't want to put any money from anywhere in the structural part of the Xcalibur Foundation. So Xcalibur Smart Mapping support the structure of the foundation. Okay, this is one side. And they want to participate. They want to pay the offices some salaries or the salaries and all the costs. The other thing is the projects. So the projects, I wanted to create two rules, or one rule that is with two objectives. That is the financial side of the projects, because we are not in those countries. So what we do is to convince the business unit in that country of Excalibur mapping to invest a percentage of the contract in the project. But the rest of the budget has to become from local partners. That is one the most important reason is because it's the key for the sustainability of the project in these countries. Okay, because at the end, Excalibur's mapping will be working in these countries 3, 4, 5, 8 years, but at the end they leave, they finish. Excalibur mapping is a company who flies over the countries looking for raw materials. But once the country is flight, the project is finished, and we had to do something with this project. So we need the support of local partnership. So at the beginning, it was very difficult because we were new. We didn't have any experience, so we had to convince some companies to say, okay, trust on us, and we will show you results. So we measure any results to convince the companies, and I have to say that nowadays we have all the projects completely covered in the financial side. This is one important thing. The second one is that I told you that we were 3 years old, and we wanted to go to the public funds, but we needed to be at least a whole year, a completely 2 years of life to present the documentation to go for these public fundings. So nowadays we are starting to play in this area. And at the end, we believe in the crowdfunding. So we are starting to work that, in United States, I remember when I was there, that for you is normal. Here in Europe is a little bit strange, but with results, we are trying to find solution for crowdfunding. For example, we have achieved the first. We have a project in Congo, which is a talent academy. Thinking about that, the talent academy, it's a talent academy there. So we chose 30 kids from 12 to 16, 15 boys and 15 girls from the street. We pay the school. We are in touch with the schools and the families, and we work with them together in two areas. One in the sports sides, of course, and one in the educational sides. And I'm going to tell you why. For most of them, it's for the future there in Congo. Okay, for the education, we push them to study and to continue studying, because at the end is the only way in those countries, to go and to move forward, to growth in those countries. But you have a gift, that is the scholarships. So we create a fund for scholarships, and we I had to say that last month one guy from 14 years old has achieved this scholarship, and he arrived in Madrid in a very, very good basket academy, and now he's studying and he's playing basketball. He's studying in a French school because he's French speaker. He's learning Spanish and English, and he's going to finish the high school, because his future is there in United States in another scholarship in the university. Talking with his family, he has a father. At the end, he knows that they have to change completely their lives. They had to close one life and to open another. And this is very, very difficult for a 14 years old guy, but yeah, yeah. And I was talking with some friends. I have like a mother here in Madrid, so she's helping him in a lot of things. So now we are working together, and our next goal is to found yes, money for one girl scholarship. So we are going to be 50-50. I think that we are going to achieve in a couple of months. We want to announce this new scholarship until December, until the end of December.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that story. What a powerful change you're making in someone's life. And I'm curious, leadership, what are two of the most important leadership lessons that you've learned in your role when it comes to leading organizations?
Money,
Okay.
many, many, but
Uh-huh.
Yes, but I'm open to receive lessons from everyone. You learn a lot from young people to the most much more brilliant people that I say that. I think that what you have to do is the best and the most important lesson, and you don't have to stop to fight every day. I think that living the problems of this kind of people in those countries, you are a privileged person, so you don't have to stop in your goals, in your objectives, in your dreams. Life is it's an incredible moment. It's something incredible. I am always saying to my son and my daughter that you have to say thank you for the country that you born only for this reason. You have to go there to go to these other countries when life doesn't have any value. We lost in the last month one kid from our school in Congo, and our local partner died last week in a heart attack. He was 45, and you feel that life doesn't have any value there. So for me, the most important lesson that I could say that is life is beautiful, and you have to fight every day to live your life and to enjoy life. For me, it's essential in how to see the world.
Well said. Well, you're doing good work. I really appreciate you sharing about what the Excalibur Foundation is doing. For my listeners here in the United States, although I've got listeners, as I mentioned, across the world, tell us more about how they can learn about the Excalibur Foundation and maybe even learn a little bit more about you.
We have a very nice website where you can see all that we do. We are going to put the information about 2025, which is a very strong goal that we have. We are going to grow not only in the countries that we are, but also in another three countries that they are very different countries. I mean, we are going to go to Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, or Nigeria. Yeah, this is another conversation. But you will see in the website that is very nice. We are very active in social media. We share daily as Excalibur Foundation all the things that we do in all of our projects. And of course, if your audience wants to ask something else, we have an email, info@fundacionexcalibur.org, so they can ask whatever they want. We have here people with practicing from United States, so they speak very perfect English. So they are going to answer much better than me.
You've done great, Javier. Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights and to be on the show. Again, it's so fun to have an organization that's based out of Spain doing such great work around the world.
Thank you, Rob. Really, again, this is an incredible honor to be with you. You have a very well-known image in Spain in the area of the foundation. So for me, it's an incredible honor to talk with you, and you are a fantastic person, very easy to talk. So thank you very much for this time.
Well, again, you bet. Thank you, Javier. Again, really appreciate your time. Hey, friends. Well, I wanted you to know that this podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcasts, and wherever you listen to other podcasts. I also want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with others. This will actually help us get this great content out to more nonprofit leaders just like you. You can also join the Nonprofit Leadership Podcast community. Find other resources and interviews of past guests all on my website, nonprofitleadershippodcast.org. Well, thanks again for listening, and until next time, keep making your world better. This podcast is sponsored by DonorBox. DonorBox, helping you help others with the best donation forms in the business.